Hello, I'm Dow Bartling, and welcome to another's Dow's Weekly Digest. You know, I've noticed something about life. A lot of people mean well, and I'm not criticizing that because you come to think about it. Meaning well is better than meaning badly. It just is. But history usually doesn't move because people mean to do something. It moves because somebody actually does it. That's what strikes me about this group of gentlemen connected to the Declaration of Independence. So let's start. Robert Morris. He personally financed much of the Revolutionary War, often using his own credit to keep the army going. Think about that for a second. While others were debating and deciding, Morris was helping make sure the cause could keep moving forward. Then there was John Morton. He cast the deciding vote for independence in Pennsylvania and died knowing some of his neighbors really blamed him for the war. That one always kind of gets my attention. Sometimes doing the right thing doesn't bring applause right away. Sometimes it brings criticism. Sometimes it costs you personally before anyone thanks you for it. And then you have Oliver Wolcott. He rode on horseback from Connecticut to Philadelphia to sign, and then he immediately returned home and led the militia troops. No long celebration, no victory speech. He signed and went right back to work. Now there's also Peyton Randolph. He was initially expected to be one of the leading signers of the Declaration, but he died suddenly before independence was finalized. And I think there's a lesson here too. Some people help carry the weight of a certain cause, even if they never live to see the full chapter completed. Then there's George Read. He voted against independence at first. But once the decision was made, he signed anyway, choosing unity over division. That may be one of the rarest qualities in any generation. The willingness to move forward together once the moment of decision has been arrived. And of course, there's the one great story in this founding era. The person, Caesar Rodney. He rode 80 miles overnight through a thunderstorm to break a tie vote, arriving just in the time to help secure independence. That is not theory. That is not talk. That is not anything but effort. That is effort. That is somebody understanding that their presence really mattered. When you line those stories up one after another, you start to see a pattern. These weren't just thoughtful men, they were moving men, acting men, show up men. And here's a life lesson for this week. One of my wise mentors had a way of saying things so plainly that you didn't forget it. Oftentimes he would tell people and reminded people that motivation doesn't last, and neither does bathing. That's why both need to happen on a regular basis. And the purpose of motivation is action now. My Sergeant Major father had a way of getting his point across, like this. If you only shoulda, woulda, coulda, you only shoulda, all over yourself. Well, commitment works the same way. It's not one burst of emotion. It's not one patriotic speech. It's not one good intention written in a notebook. Commitment is movement. Commitment is follow through. Commitment is doing the hard thing when the moment requires it. And that applies everywhere. In business, the people who make progress are the ones who follow up. In families, the people who change things are the ones who show up. In leadership, the people who matter are the ones who do more than they talk. As I get older, I pay more attention on what a person does than what they say. So here's the takeaway. Don't just admire courage, practice it. Don't just believe in discipline, live it. Don't just support the mission in your heart. Move for it with your life. Because history rarely changes because of people who intend to help. It changes because of the people who got on the horse, rode through the storm, and arrived in time. And that's still true now. Commitment mattered in 1776, and it still matters today. Here's where you stand in our journey from declaration to delivery. Declare with conviction. Declare with commitment. And remember this, blessed are they who ease the pain of misfortune, for they shall be called insurance agents. You take care.